Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Hope you're well today. Today I'm sharing with you a little notepad that I've made, or well, I haven't made the notepad, I've just covered the notepad, but it is my gift going out with my monthly host code this month. So I thought I would just show you. It uses this beautiful Share What You Love designer series paper. This is the paper that's on the back, and I wanted to show you just quite how thick that is. Can you hear that? It's a real thick cardstock kind of paper. It's lovely, and I wanted to let it shine, and these little flowers reminded me of the flowers that are in the Varied Vases stamp set, so I thought I would go classic black and white with just that pop of colour, quite a muted colour, but nonetheless the shiny pearlescent flowers kind of make it pop in the background. So that's what we're making today. As I said, it uses the Varied Vases punch, which, oh sorry, you're getting lots of shiny. Let me turn it over this way, it's easier to see. So the Varied Vases punch and the matching Varied Vases stamp set. So those are the two items really that you're going to need, plus your trusty trimmer and some black ink. Okay, so let's get started. So move those out of the way. As I said, it's a very simple design. There's nothing too complicated to do with this. We're just going to be covering the notebook, and this is a little notebook I got in a stack of 6, I think, 6, 8, 4, 6, 8, something like that, packs of A6, European A6 little blank notebooks. I think I got them from Amazon, and I use them for team gifts, I use them for customer gifts, so I thought I would show you how I use one. So then I've cut down, this is just a basic piece of, you can see my notes, that's my notes. This is a piece of basic black, which I have cut down spookily, because it's an A6 piece of notepad, 14.9 plus the little scory fold plus 5 centimeters. So what I actually did was it's 14.9 that way, but it's 10.5 this way. It's basically exactly the same as half of a piece of cardstock. So if you had a piece of cardstock and you chopped it down this way, that's where I started my scoring with, and I left it long, and I took it over the notepad like this. So I had the notepad underneath at the back, and I literally just folded the cardstock this way here, and that gives you your starting point, and then you can fold it along here. And then I took it off, and I did this, and I used my bone folder to give that a good score, a good burnish rather. And then I did the same with this. Now this one's a little trickier because it's just a really tiny, well, depending on the thickness of your notepad, it's just a tiny little extra fold. So just make sure you get a good burnish down there, and that gets you a crisp edge. Now I would say, just make sure that when you've got your notepad in, okay, it doesn't shrink and come up higher at the front here. Sometimes when you score and bend paper, it can just move the cardstock up a little bit. It just creates a little bit of shrinkage. So that first score, I think I actually did it at 15 just to make sure that it wasn't going to go over. You can always trim it off later. Let's have a look. Where am I? Yeah, that's 15. So just, even though this is 14.9, just give yourself that extra millimetre to give you a bit of wriggle room. And then I just lopped the back off here. I just kind of went, oh, that's about right size, but it's actually about 5 centimetres that I've left here at the back. Okay, and the way you're going to stick this down is you're going to use your Tombow or your multi-purpose glue, and you're going to come in and you're going to glue all the way along here. Don't get too close to the edges. You don't want it squishing out into your notepad. That would be messy. But you do want it to be, you know, well stuck down. So pop that on, make sure you've got it the right way up, don't stick it to the pages, stick it to the back. Ask me how I know how that can go wrong. And then you're just going to lay it on there and make sure that your fold is closed. And because it's the Tombow, you've got a little bit of wiggle room if you need it, but actually if you've scored that, you know, nicely enough, it should just slot into place like that. Actually, that went a lot better than I thought it would. Look at that, straight in. I have so little faith sometimes that video is going to work so easily. So there we go. So this is the cardstock. You can choose to have a different one. You know, you could have the other side if you wanted to, but I just thought that the little flowers here matched the little flowers on this stamp quite nicely. So that's why I've checked. Plus it's got that nice pearly bit on it. So I like that. This piece obviously is the same size as your first layer on a card because it's an A6 front. So that is 14 point. No, actually I did this. Did I do this the same size? Oh no, I'm doing this one slightly differently. Oh, well, look at me. Here we go. I remember now. It was only the other day. You'd think I'd remember a little bit clearer. This one I covered entirely with the designer series paper. This one I decided to put a little layer around it like a card front. There we go, it's all coming back to me now. That's the Queen Pip faux pas of the day. So this DSP here is your same size as your normal layers and mats, and that is 10 by 14.4. This one is the same size as the actual cardstock itself here, which I've used, which was 15 by 10.5. Okay, there we go. So it's going to look slightly different, but hopefully just as good. Okay, so now we are going to do our matting, layering and stamping our bits. So what we need for that is a piece of Whisper White. This is 7.5 centimetres, no, 7 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres, and this is 7.5 by 10. So that's the flower bit there. And then this one is 2 centimetres by 7, so it matches widthways that one, and 2.5 by 7.5, so that matches that one. You don't really want to have your sentiment a different width to your main image, because I mean, unless you're going to go really down, so it's kind of like 2/3 of the size, because if it's just slightly off, it's going to look really weird to the eye. So either match it exactly or go a very different shape or something like that, but don't just skimp it down a little bit, because it'll just look weird. Okay, so the next thing I did was stamp this shelf row here at the bottom, and to do that I always like to attach my piece of card that I'm working with just with a very tiny, hear that, a very tiny amount of snail, and then that way it comes off again, but that way I can pop it down on my grid paper, make sure that I'm straight, because that's, I always worry about being straight with my astigmatism. So probably won't be straight now, but we'll give it a go. So I'm inking this up in Memento black, okay, and then I'm going to go down. Can you see that doesn't seem straight to me, that it's a little bit curly. This is how it came out of the thing. It gets a bit wibbly wobbly, so you have to just help it straighten. No, it's got a little kink in it again. Maybe it's supposed to have a little bump in it, I don't know, but I'm going to put it straight. It needs to be straight in my eyes. Okay, and then we're going to come up and I'm going to find a line, one of these grid lines that I like, where I want it to be, and then I'm going to stick my head over and hopefully not block out your view, so that I can get down and do that. There we go. And then that just gives us a nice straight edge at the bottom. Alright, next I'm going to do the flowers. and these are quite detailed actually in the centre. I don't know if you can see that, but they've got quite a lot of detailing in this in the middle, so you have to make sure that you're going to get all that detail inked up. Okay, and then I'm going to pop it down just almost exactly on the base of the that ledge centrally. Oh, there we go. See, that's the detailed bit I keep saying needs to be. I'm not using my mat either, which I should be. There we go. That's not too bad. I can live with that. Okay, so pop that down. Then you're going to do your sentiment. Lift that off. Stick that on. There we go. Obviously, if you couldn't live with that slightly darker on one side than the other, then you'd need to do that again. But I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I think it gives it depth. Okay, so that goes down there. So this says, hoping your day blooms with happiness. Is that inked? Just make sure you've got your ink on it. There we go. And then again, straight up, straight down. Hold it. There we go. So again, that just helps, that little tiny piece of snail just helps hold things together so that you don't feel panicking about anything. And then use your punch. Now this one I did with the rounded. I don't know, maybe the rounded is a good one still to do. Or I might try one of these ones. The good thing is you get 3 out in one shot. So punch all of those out. And then you can kind of decide which one you like. I'm not sure we've got room for all of that. Oh, actually, no, maybe we have. That looks quite nice too. No, actually, I think I'm going to do this one. And I've got 2 spare vases I can use for another project, which is great. So I'm just going to... I didn't set this one up or anything. I just went straight in with multi-purpose glue. There we go. Again, it gives me that little bit of wiggle room. Straight down. There we go. I think these are very chic looking. You know, there's something quite elegant and... Oh. There we go. My flowers aren't quite central, but I can live with that. If you can't, you'd have to do it again. But I can live with that. And then it's just a question of assembly. I mean, this is such an easy project. Simple, quick, easy. That's what I like. And it doesn't take a lot of supplies, but you could do these as teachers' notes, you know, teachers' thank you gifts, kids going off to college, if you wanted to just give them a little bit of a notebook that they could write their shopping lists on, or their, you know, things they want to ask mum on, or anything like that. And I think they'd be quite happy that it's, you know, it's not too motherish. It's quite elegant. It would fit with any decor, pretty much. You could give it to a friend who was maybe having a bit of a hard time. You could sell them for charity. That would also be good. Just make sure that you put your Stampin' Up logo on the back as per the Angel policy. But you could do loads with this. And, you know, I like things where you have lots of different things you could do with them. Lots of different ways you could gift them. Lots of different ways you could use them. So that's going to go on there. That's going to go on there. Like that. I think I put this one, yeah, I'm going to put this one flat. I'm going to put the other one up on dimensionals. Okay. Now that's not quite... I've left a bit of a wider edge on that. I'm not having a good day today, am I? No, I just have one of those days. One of those days. That's fine. It'll all get better. That's what I say. Right, dimensionals. Now obviously, you know me, you need to have a decent amount, because where are my dimensionals? I've lost them. Oh, there we go. You need to have a good amount because you don't want it sagging. Although technically I guess this would be more of a gift rather than a card in the post, but even so, you know, you want to make sure it's going to stay lifted, because that's what you're after all. You want to show that dimension a little bit. There we go. And then we put those up. I mean, you could turn this into a card. This could easily be a card because it's the same shape and size. I've just put it on a notebook instead. So I'll pop this one down here. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's a bit crooked as well, is it? Or is that just my eyes? No, that is a bit crooked. Bring it down. There we go. That's better. I love Tombow because you can move stuff. There we go. So there's the two options. One that I just covered straight with the designer series paper, so you get to see the inside, which is quite nice. And then this one, which I've just done with black, so it's classic. So you could do either, really. It's up to you. So there you go. Hope you like that. All the details to purchase these from my store, not the notebooks, but I'm going to say that. I'm going to start that again. Shall we start that again? Let's start that again. So if you would like to purchase the Stampin' Up supplies that you've seen today, so the Varied Vases, the punch, which comes as a bundle with 10% off, any of the glues, the blocks, the card, the paper, whatever, you can find all the links below in the description. And if you'd like to see more things from me, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you don't miss any videos. And I'm just going to finish with a quick flash of other things that you can do with this Varied Vases stamp. So this one's by a friend of mine, Gina, and you can see she's coloured in the flowers because there is a two-step stamping, so you can actually stamp and cut and colour those flowers in instantly. She's done the same vase but stamped and punched out. Then I've done 5 of these, which are my little, these were my little thank yous this month with the new in colours and all the different shapes in the papers, which I quite like. Then I took that idea and thought, actually, let's do something for my launch. So this was the card, one of the cards we did at my launch. Again, this is using the punch rather than the stamp, but this is the stamp and one of the words and the ribbon that goes with it. And this is a card that's upcoming because I just had to play with Highland Heather and Melon Mambo in this case. So this is just stamping, no punching at all. So you can see it's a really versatile set. You can, you know, it's, as I say, elegant, I think. Stylish, elegant, I love it, but fun too. So I also have, if you jump over to my blog, there's a photo of a notebook, that not a notebook, a post-it holder that I did. But that's already gone out to my team, so that's left the building, and I forgot to have it with me when I did this video. But yeah, so lots of things that you can do with Varied Vases, and I hope you've enjoyed all of that inspiration. Come back and see me again soon. Thanks very much. Ta-da, bye for now. Cheers, bye.